cybercrime, I said we would talk about because it's becoming more prevalent and councils are being targeted. Councils all different sizes, and you would hope that you've got the right software in place to prevent somebody getting into the system, but it tends to be, claims tend to be around social engineering. So somebody's been tricked into clicking on a link, so that's put a nasty on the network, on the laptop, and they can't unclear it, or they've been tricked into sending money to the wrong place. So this is an actual example of parents who'd raised money, and the scammers had intercepted an email stream and diverted the money to a different account. So they'd stolen the whole lot. So it's about prevention, defense, monitoring the risk. How do you deal with the first response? This is a sort of summary of what could be at risk from cyber attack. So the data on a website. I would say that parish councils in particular have little data. Town councils may have a bit more personal data, records of bookings and allotment holders, etc. But it's not so much for the smaller councils, including the sensitive data. The email for payment, these are phone emails appearing to be from a senior person. Maybe the chairman sends you an email saying, we got to pay this invoice today, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Make sure you pay it now, that sort of thing. I think they're easier to track, but the scammers are getting cleverer, and they make sure the emails look genuine, or more genuine than they ever have. Backup failure, so they can get into the system to prevent any backups. So if you can't do backups of precious work, then that could be an issue longer term. System hacked, this is somebody actually clicking on a link that gives somebody access to the system. So they may ask for ransomware. They talk about denial of service attacks. So I always say it's a bit like having a power cut for a long period of time. So you won't be able to do anything until the system is unlocked. So at the very least, you need to get your IT people to come in and start again, really. To say, right, okay, well, it's not worth unblocking that laptop, we'll just start again. So you imagine the costs involved in that. And the reputational harm. So if the public at large think the council's been hacked in some way, they won't necessarily know that it doesn't mean that any data's been lost or shared, but they may just, the chat on social media may be that they're concerned. So you may need somebody to deal with that for you. What do I need to prevent cybercrime happening to us? Commercial grade software. I mean, a lot of councillors will use their own personal devices and laptops, which will have a basic level of antivirus software. But if they are sending information into the network at large, so I always describe as the clerk produces a Word document with some notes, they send it to all the councillors and say, can you please add your own comments to this and send it back to me? So it's going to all these different people who on their own devices where they're updating that document and sending it back. At what point, they could have something on their own personal device because it's not protected by suitable firewalls and antivirus software. It's relatively straightforward to upgrade to a business class commercial grade software, but that's one of the recommendations to prevent a loss. The ability to know when somebody has tried to hack into your device, backup and disaster and recovery. So staff knowledge, training on basic cyber. Don't click on links you don't understand. Keep that up to date. Have a cyber risk assessment. That could be a good idea if you haven't done one already. What do I need from cyber type policy? Something that reinstatement of your data, specialist IT forensic company. They're very expensive. If you need somebody that to deep dive into your systems and find out what's caused it, what have they got into. Maybe a PR company to protect and mitigate against damage. Maybe help you draft a press release or statement to say no, there's no private data stolen, etc. Reasonable expenses to maintain your operation, so like business interruption, but for a cyber claim. Defense costs against somebody says, well, you've passed on a virus to us, and the legal, as you see, the legal liability for the transmission of a virus. So you may have caught it on your network and passed it on to other third parties who will be looking to claim against you. These are the sort of summary of what you should expect from a cyber insurance policy if you get one. Yes, you can insure against it. We have insurers who now do cyber risk assessments. So they take your web address, email address, and they will do an assessment of it, and they will continually monitor that during the life of the policy. So they're another line of defense, really.